Hi, welcome to Board with Life News for March 5th. Today we're going to talk about expansions for Space Cadets. We're going to talk about Couriers Light and Dark, which is both an expansion and a standalone game. We're going to talk about the Golden Geek Awards, and we're going to talk about the Kickstarter for Tokaido. Let's get to it. Hey, I'm Chris. This is Board with Life News. Thanks for tuning in. Couple things. First off, the Board with Life crew. We did a couple things this week. We played Saboteur with Spooning Meeples on a little digital thing via Board Game Arena, and you can check that out on the Spooning Meeples YouTube channel, so definitely give that a look if you're interested. We also were on the Hopcast, which is the Hey Ash What You Playin' podcast. Ash is Ashley Birch, who plays Michelle in our show, and Anthony, who plays Anthony in our show, and we had a good time talking about kind of the state of board games versus video games with them, and also just joking around. I will say, while we normally try to keep things pretty PG-13 on our show, we definitely got rated R on both of those shows. So if you're offended by language or crude humor, then maybe those aren't for you. But if you aren't, they were pretty fun, and we think they're pretty funny. So check them out. As far as our Kickstarter goes, we're only about $2,000 away from getting Rich Summer from Mad Men on our show, and we only have a week and a half left. So we really need you guys' help, your support. If you've already given, please share us with your friends on social media. And if you haven't given yet and you've been waiting, now is certainly the time, because we are coming up on the end and we really need you guys' support. Every dollar you give is going to make the show better, it's going to make more content, and we're really excited about our ideas for Season 2. So we can definitely use your help there. Thank you so much if you've already supported, and yeah, go check that out. Registration for BGGCon just opened up yesterday, and it is $85 right now, and I think it's going to go up to $110 in a little while. This sells out every single year because they keep it small on purpose. We absolutely love BGGCon. It's in our backyard. So we are definitely going to be there full force. Those of you who were there last year know that we threw a really ridiculous party, and we hope to do the same thing this year. So it's a great way, if you guys are going to be around, to come out. You can meet us. We can play games together. It's going to be a blast. So definitely get your tickets to that if that's something you're interested in. All right, on to board game news. Up first is Space Cadets news. Last week I told you about the entirely new game that they're making. This week I'm telling you about expansions that they're going to have for both the original Space Cadets and Space Cadets Dice Duel. The original Space Cadets expansion is going to be called Resistance is Mostly Futile. It's going to have upgraded ships that have new abilities, so basically I guess upgraded abilities for your ship. It's not upgraded ships. And they're going to have new missions that you can go on, so that's exciting if you're into that game. Dice Duel, we're a big fan of. Their expansion is going to be called Die Fighter, and I'm super excited about this because it's going to have a whole new ship that's going to have a single pilot, and the ship's not going to have shields, but it's going to be really fast, and so it's like a whole new way you can attack. So in addition to the main ship that your whole team is going to be piloting, there's going to be an individual person kind of in a little ship that's flying around trying to do things. I'm super excited about that because while I really love Space Cadets, Dice Duel, it gives me anxiety to be on a team with people yelling, whereas something like this is a little bit more akin to Escape Curse of the Temple, and that game for some reason doesn't give me anxiety, I think because I'm doing my own thing in a group of people doing their own thing that are kind of helping each other. So I'm very excited about this. It's going to mean that the game now fits 10 players, all rolling dice, going crazy, and it's also going to add cards that allow you to upgrade your ship, so you'll have a card that makes your ship faster or stronger or whatever. They're going to be 27 different cards, so now there's going to be a bit of variable player powers going on. So that's really exciting. That was one of our favorite recent games, so we're definitely going to be picking that one up. Alright, also in expansion, but also standalone game news, Couriers Light and Dark is coming out. It's going to be both an expansion to Couriers as well as a standalone game, so it can be a starting point if you want. Couriers is I guess, started dice building games, which are like deck building games, but instead of buying cards, you're buying dice, so that kind of thing. That's also, that mechanic is going to be in the new Marvel's Dice Masters, I think. So there's a bunch of that stuff coming out soon, but if you're into Couriers, is a great expansion for that, or a good starting point if you don't know about it. Alright, Board Game Geek announced their Golden Geek Awards this week, and that's the best of everything from 2013, their big awards. The Game of the Year went to Terra Mystica, which is well-deserving, even though they have weird things with like when the cutoff happens, because I think that game came out in 2012, and it was on a bunch of best-ofs last year, but they have the different cutoff dates, so that is their 2013 Game of the Year. Something we're super excited about is Best Print and Play was a tie between Tiny Epic Kingdoms and Coin Age. Those are both great games, and we're especially excited about Coin Age because we're good friends with Adam McIver, who designed that game, and he actually was one of the minds behind Board with Life, the metagame, the micro game that you can get if you back our Kickstarter. And that's so exciting for him. It's so cool, and we're really excited about that. All right, now let's hit Kickstarter corner. This week's Kickstarter is Tokaido. And while I normally try to shy away from big manufacturers that have Kickstarters, because honestly they really don't need my voice, they don't need my help, this one already has over $200,000. I love Tokaido, and it's my favorite gateway game to introduce new players with. It's also my girlfriend's favorite game, so when I asked her, I was like, should I back? I mean, I already own it, and whatever. And she was like, you have to back that. So I did. Tokaido is already the most gorgeous game in my collection, and this is super awesome expanded edition. It's going to have these super cute little miniatures along with metal coins and all these upgrades. And if you back at $75, you get the base game with the 16 miniatures, but if you back at $115, which is what I did, once all their stretch goals get hit, which I think they will, you're going to end up with 32 pre-painted miniatures, which is awesome. They're super cute. It's just a gorgeous game, so I figured if this is the game that I'm going to be using all the time to get people into board games, I might as well get the nicest copy I can. So that's what's going on there. Alright, that is the bulk of the news for this week. Make sure to subscribe and like us and all that jazz. We've got a new bit coming up next Tuesday that we're pretty excited about. And again, check out our Kickstarter if you haven't already. If you have, please share it with somebody that you think might like it. Or just share our videos or whatever you want to do. This week's question comes from Jaquen? J-A-Q-E-N? No idea. Via YouTube. And they ask, what's your favorite travel game? That's a really good question. Up there is certainly Coinage, because it is a single card that's like a credit card that you can keep in your wallet, and then you just need coins to play it. So it's a great travel game because you can play it, carry it with you all the time and play it whenever you want. Oddball Aeronauts that I talked about recently on a Kickstarter thing just finished its Kickstarter run, and that one seems like it's going to be a good one because it's a card game, but you don't need a table to play it. You hold the cards in your hand and you kind of shuffle through your deck that way, so that's smart. We really like Love Letter. I think that's a pretty classic one for travel because it's so small and compact and it's easy to take with you. As far as camping and stuff where you might not want to have cards outside, I think Hive, especially Travel Hive, or their Travel Edition, is really good because those little pieces can get wet and it's not going to mess them up or anything like that. So I think that's a good travel game. But I think the ultimate travel game is Werewolf because you don't even need to take anything. You can just have a slip of paper and you write Villager or Werewolf or Seer or whatever on it and you just put them in a hat and you can take it. You could play it in a car while on a road trip. You can play it around a campfire as a perfect setting for it. So I really think Werewolf is the ultimate travel game because you don't even have to physically take anything with you. So yeah, that's my answer for that question. Make sure you guys submit questions via YouTube. Send them to us on Twitter, on Facebook, however you want, so I can pick them out and answer them next week on the news. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week.